What's going on, gang? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Generations Legends Class Viper, or Decepticon Viper. This is a repaint and retooled head of Powerglide, who I have already reviewed. And I want to get this out of the way first. All the issues that I've had with Powerglide and all the issues that exist with that Powerglide figure are represented here. This guy has them in spades, and in some cases they're actually worse than on Powerglide. But I absolutely adore the paint job of this figure. I love the head sculpt. I love the purple, the gray, the little winged cobra Decepticon symbol. I absolutely adore the look of this figure. Function-wise, he's kind of a mess, just like Powerglide. But I can't argue with the look of it. Standing next to Powerglide, I think the differences are pretty obvious. No paint or sticker here at the crotch, Autobot symbol on Powerglide as opposed to Decepticon symbol, obviously the paint schemes and the coloring the plastics, and completely different head sculpts. And speaking of head sculpts, you can see that his head sculpt is definitely that of a G.I. Joe Cobra soldier, something that I find absolutely fascinating. I just love the look of this guy, head sculpt-wise. Now, the paint on the chest that I'm trying to zoom in here on is really, really cool as well. That really reminds me of the Cobra Decepticon crossovers, Transformer and G.I. Joe crossover comic book we had a couple of years ago. And it just works. It really works well. And I like it a lot. Viper's transformation is exactly the same as Powerglide's. To start, we'll fold up the arms and peg them into place underneath the wings. Then we will take the figure's head and turn it around, which is sometimes easier said than done. Take the head and back and push that away from the body and fold that up to form the upper fuselage of the plane. Unpeg the wings from the sides, and then fold them down and flip them out. Take the legs and put them together and pray that it holds together, which it most certainly will not. Flip out the tail wings that break every single time you transform him, and fold down the feet into the rear of the fuselage. And there you kind of have the plane mode, but not really, because nothing holds together in the back of the plane. Absolutely nothing. Just like Powerglide, he has issues back there. Just doesn't want to stay together at all. Believe it or not, this is the first time I have transformed Powerglide since I initially did. Believe it or not, this is the first time I've transformed Powerglide since my video review back in 2014. It's that much of a pain to get him transformed and to stay transformed. And that's just because of the legs. Differences to the two figures, I think, are pretty obvious. You've got the decals on the wings there for Viper with nothing for Powerglide, and the canopies are different colors. And then at the very tip, you are missing a gun. With Powerglide, you've got that little gun. With Viper, you just have what looks like the eyes of a snake and the head of a snake. Very, very cool. Now, both of these figures are based off of the military's A-10 Warthog tank buster. And the reason I know that is because of Wikipedia and the fact that I live close to an airport where these things are flying all the time in the summer, in the spring and summer. So I get to see these things all the time. It's pretty awesome. Viper does have one more mode, and that is a gun mode. Simply first fold down the front wheel, fold up the wings like you're going to transform the figure into robot mode. Take the engines and push them back towards the back of the figure, and just far enough so that they don't pop off. Remove the legs, and as you saw, the leg fell off there. That is a real issue with Viper on my figure. The ball joints, just very little force is required for them to pop off. I know I'm not really good at transforming things, but yeah, this figure seems to be extra specially fragile in the ball joint department. So, yeah, just be aware of that. And the last bit to turn him into gun mode is to flip up the sight here in the back. So you end up with this giant purple gun thing. Doesn't really work for me all that well, in all honesty. I like Viper a lot, and I think it should be in your collection, but you have to be wary of the issues with this mold. The ball joints are constantly falling off. The fins here on their tail fins on the bottom, tail wings on the bottom, constantly pop off, and he doesn't stay together in vehicle mode. So just be wary of that. But otherwise, I love this figure. Other than those flaws, I can't help but loving it. It's just a wonderful homage to G.I. Joe, and it's just a really cool figure on its own. So guys, I kind of recommend it, but just know what you're getting into. As always, I've been Baltmatrix, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe, and please be sure to check out my next video review.